as I was saying, my video cut off there. As I was saying, how are you continuing your spiritual growth? So your congregation can continue growing spiritually. And the problem is, everybody feels that they have the right to decide what Christianity is and what God said. Well, by believing that, and that is why Minister recently in Seal Beach couldn't answer why these people, I believe there was about 8 of them, were killed. You can't answer them because you don't know, because you're not preaching the truth. You're not allowing yourself to preach the true message. You're not allowing yourself to live 100% in Jesus Christ. And that is why the Spiritual Messiah Ministries was formed. I'm here to not only bring the laws to either never heard of the Bible or the gospel before, never heard the gospel preached them before, as well as those that do call themselves Christian or are heard the gospel but they're practicing another faith, to bring them back to God. I'm here to show them the error of their ways, teach them the fallacies that they are believing on, proving to them why their false beliefs are false. And not all of everybody's beliefs, especially if you're a Christian, are false. But not all of them are correct either. The majority of the Christian church in America is only following roughly 50% at the most of God's message. And everybody seems to be cutting out the other half. And that's why I feel we have this problem today of all this secularism and the Islamization of this once great nation, and what Obama is now doing to our military by allowing, point blank cross-dressers, transgenders, and homosexuals into the military. People once upon a time, yes, I'm going to say that it would probably always happen, but there was once upon a time that nobody knew that. If you were gay and you were in the military, nobody knew. All other nations feared America for that fact. We were the toughest military in the world. Now that it is open that we have homosexuals and transgenders and cross-dressers in the military, we're becoming the laughing stock of the world. And on top of that, he's downsizing the military. So not only are we the laughing stock of the world, we're lessening our troops. We're making ourselves, through Obama, vulnerable for attack. But then I'm going to say this to you. Everything does interconnect, and that's what I'm here to explain to you. Not necessarily in this particular video, that is running almost an hour already. I really wasn't intending on that, but it happens. When I get going, like I said, I get going. But since everything interconnects, I'm going to tell you that that's because we're no longer a Bible-believing nation. It has been proven time and time again throughout history. All nations that had very strong faith in God, that was part of everything they did to thrive. The minute they kicked God out of their nation, they fell. Now it's happening to America. First there's no Bibles allowed in the schools no more. And then they're taking down all Christian-based writings out of the court system, out of all the courtrooms. Now there's at the point where there's people that are actually fighting today, 2011, about putting a cross on their own property, wearing a cross to work, having a cross in their vehicle. It's gone to the point of idiocy, but yet these other faiths, particularly the Muslims, are allowed to do whatever. They can wear their dresses to schools. They can, have their holy symbols with them at the workplace. But it's gone to the point where Christians can't. When you show your cross, you get fired. You can't have a cross in your front lawn. You're going to get evicted. by the town. Many own the property. They're going to foreclose on it. They're going to force you out of town unless you abide by their rules. This is a very dangerous world we're living in today, and it's going to get worse. And I believe that is because of what American Christianity and Western Christianity as a whole, just looking at Europe, has done. We literally left God all out there someplace. They're saying we believe in Jesus Christ, and following half the teachings of the Bible isn't cutting it anymore. This is what happens. So, Spiritual Messiah Ministries was formed to correct that. Anybody who feels that they are a Christian, my job is to correct their teachings and where they're wrong. And allow them now the doorway to grow more spiritually and to grow ever closer to Jesus Christ. And my job is also to go out there and preach the true message of Christianity to the American people, to try to get all this hatred towards Christians taken care of. I think everybody has a misconception that Christians are racist bigots. And we're not. Plain and simple, we are not. There's a lot being said about Christians nowadays. And that's just not true. And why are they saying that? Why can they get away with saying that? Why can they get away with believing that? Because the American Christian ministers over the past so many years have allowed it to happen by picking and choosing what they're going to believe, and by picking and choosing what they're going to preach to their fellowship, which now is picking and choosing what their fellowship is going to believe, and how far spiritually their fellowship is going to be able to grow. And now they're going to go out and have kids and do the same thing to their kids, and etc. and so on. It gets worse each generation until we finally get to today. My job and the job of Spiritual Messiah Ministries is to correct that and reverse it. To show everybody true Christianity, what Christianity is really all about. The real Christianity. The Christianity that is slowly being forgotten and erased from existence. And anybody who feels that there are a few ministers out there that are preaching through Christianity, though they're tying themselves down to one set denomination. There's quite a few Baptist ministers in particular around my area that are preaching the truth. There's a few other Protestant-based ministers in a few other states that I've heard of that are preaching truth. So yes, there are other ministers out there that are preaching a lot longer than I have been, that have a decent sized fellowship that is preaching truth, and I commend them for it. I'm proud that there are still people out there that are preaching the truth and are trying to fight against this self-onslaught of Christianity. The suicide of Christianity by Christians, so to speak. And there's a few out there that are trying to hold on to it. And the purpose of the Spiritual Truth Movement and Coalition is to form a coalition of any church, organization, or ministry out there that is preaching the truth, to ally ourselves with each other, and to form a Judeo-Christian network of Christian and Jewish ministries, organizations, and individuals that are preaching the truth and are trying to bring God back into America, bring God back into Europe, or maybe a better way of phrasing it is bringing America back to God, and bringing Europe back to God. And kind of, putting a reverse on this Christian suicide of Christianity by Christians. it's going to be a long, drawn out, fight. But I feel it can be done. The only way it can be accomplished, however, though, is that any ministers that are preaching the truth in Jesus Christ's name needs to contact my ministry so we can stay in touch, start forming a network. And when something's going on and a problem arises, we can keep each other informed and work together. Start eliminating these denominational lines, and come back together again as the one body of Jesus Christ. There's no need for individual denominations. And I believe, if I'm correct, the exact definition or meaning of denomination is division, to divide. Well, why do we want to keep on dividing the body of Christ? So, Conversion Spiritual Truth Movement is to pull the body of Christ back together again. So, if there's any ministers or individuals out there that do believe in Jesus Christ, you are trying to bring bring America back to God. You are trying to bring Europe back to God. You're looking to bring all the world back to Jesus Christ. And then please, you can go to Spiritual Messiah Ministries.org and email the ministry or myself and let us know. What we need is your name, if you belong to an organization or ministry, community ministry, the address for the ministry or organization you belong to. I'll have the email address to you emailing us and a contact phone number. And I will give you further information on the purpose of this network upon everybody send me emails, and each and every new member of the coalition that comes aboard in their response email from myself or somebody in the ministry, there will be a list of other ministries, organizations, and individuals of the Christian and Jewish faith that are a part of the coalition with their information. Well, we are looking to form a very tight-knit network. As we're seeing worldwide right now, Christian persecution is on the rise. It's beginning here in America, as I've predicted it was going to. It is not happening. It's been slowly coming into being over the past couple of years, and now it is here. And I'm going to go ahead and say that it is not going to be too much longer before we will start seeing Christians winding up either murdered or wrongfully imprisoned with propaganda in the media behind it to show the reasonings for the arrest or the murder of that particular Christian. I mean, they've already started in with that propaganda by trying to label Christians as racist, bigots, and terrorists. And as we're seeing this Occupy Wall Street movement, they have been endorsed by the Communist Party USA, the American Nazi Party, the Care Association, ACORN, SEIU, amongst others. Now, for those of you that don't understand what that means that behind Occupy Wall Street, or the OWS as they're now calling themselves, that is going global, they are back. They have been funded and organized by communists, fascists, and the Muslim Brotherhood organizations. Now, each and every one of those organizations do not like Christians and do not like Jews. As far as it states in the Quran, we are the infidels. Christians and Jews are the infidels. I could go ahead and to tell you what they want done with the infidels. That's going to mean a whole lecture about Islam, and that's not the purpose of this video. And as far as fascism and communism is concerned, they are two entities of socialism, the socialism umbrella, in which case there is no religion. The state is the religion. And the head of the state, or the leader of the government, is the God that the people are to worship. All other religions are usually outlawed and removed from the socialistic society. If they are unable to remove the faith from their society, they will make sure that they are running every last bit of it, so that religion, in a roundabout sense, is an extension of they themselves, because they're going to be telling these people what they can preach. So for argument's sake, say a socialistic government pops up today, they realize they can't convert the nation of the Christians. So I tell the Christians, you can still support those Christians, you can keep your church here, but this is what you have to preach. If you don't preach this, I will kill you, I will kill your fellowship, I will kill your families, and I will burn your church down. And most Christian churches will go along with that. And now what happens? You now have a Christian, all the beliefs that this dictator wants everybody to believe and look at him as God, and successfully just did so through you to your fellowship. The only difference is you don't realize it, or your fellowship won't realize it, because you're still titling yourself as Christians. You just don't realize that you're now following a false Jesus Christ. And that false Jesus Christ being the leader of the government. Throughout these occupations, there have been numerous anti-Semitic propaganda being displayed all over the place. And I even watched one video on YouTube that had a couple of kids, and they couldn't have been more than, I'm going to say 20, for argument's sake, years old. Somewhere between the ages of 17 and 20 years old. And there was old Jewish man there that they're literally cursing out and talking to him like he's trash. Just because he's Jewish. And the same thing is going to begin happening to the Christians. Now it needs to be done. All the Jews and all of the Christians need to realize that we need to band together if we're going to survive this. We all come from the same background. We have the same God. We are the same people. And if we don't come together and unite on a global level, we are looking at the demise of Judaism and Christianity. And once the very last Christian and Jew has been killed, Judaism and Christianity will be erased from the history books. They've already tried beginning that process. If you don't believe me, pick up your child's textbooks, your child's history book, and just read through a couple of pages, and you'd be surprised what it states in there. And please, by all means, write in my comment section for this video if that matches what you were taught when you were in school. I bet it doesn't. So rather than sit back and do nothing, because we can't possibly believe this is happening to us, of all people, especially considering we're in America. What happened is happening in America. Well, it is happening. If you open your eyes, you will see. Rather than sit back and do nothing and watch the demise of our people. We must wake up to the times that we are now in. We must wake up to the fact of what's going on. And all the Jews and all the Christians across the planet need to unite with each other. And that is the purpose of the Spiritual Truth Movement and Coalition. Bring together all the Christians and all the Jews so that we have a fighting chance. So please, if you are a Christian or a Jew, you are either facing the reality of what's going on in the world and you realize that we need each other in order to get through this. And please go to spiritualmessiahministries.org and go to the contact page. There's a few phone numbers and email addresses there that you can contact us by. Please send us an email or give us a call to let us know your name, the ministry or organization you belong to, and mailing address for your ministry or organization. Or if you would like to help America return to God and would like to help Europe return to God, then please go to the contact page on spiritualmessiahministries.org and send us an email or give us a call with the same information. Your name, the name of your ministry or organization, and a physical mailing address. And let's start forming this network, and let's start forming this coalition so that we can ensure the future of Christianity and Judaism rather than sit back and watch its extinction. Today's time in history is the most dangerous time in history. Persecution of Christians and persecution of Jews are at an all-time high. If you don't believe me, Google the statistics. They're being systematically wiped out. And part of that happening in Europe and America is due to the fact, like I said before, that nobody truly understands, or at least the vast minority of the Jewish and Christian population truly understands what their faith is. Only the minority of the Jewish and Christian populace of America and Europe are following the root values of their beliefs. And that is what is, I believe, is aiding in the demise. And we need to stand up against that. We need to fix that. We need to bring God's children home. We need to unite. So again, I'm going to say, please go to spiritualmessiahministries.org and go to the Contact Us page. Send us an email or give us a phone call with the information. And we will in turn disperse to you any information of other individuals or organizations or ministries that are already a member of the coalition, so we can start getting this global network going, so we can stand up for each other. And shortly, right now it's mainly being done through emails, weekly newsletters with the coalition. But shortly, I'm going to try to start weekly video conferences. It's not going to be a requirement that everybody need to attend the video conference, but as many people that can, when I do start the video conferences, it would be nice. So at least this way we're not all just looking at each other's statements via emails. We can actually see each other's faces and tell each other face to face, so to speak, about the different hardships we're experiencing in our respective countries and areas of our respective countries. But we need to come together now before it's too late. If we don't unite today, there won't be an Israel tomorrow. So please, if you are a Christian or you are a Jew and you're watching this video, go to spiritualmessiahministries.org and contact us. Send us an email or give us a call. The future of Israel is in our hands. We must secure it. This end days battle is just as much in the physical world as it is in the spiritual. And that brings me to another point. I'm not going to name names, because I don't believe in that. I don't want to discredit any particular organization, because I do commend their attempt at what they're trying to accomplish here. But there's numerous organizations that I've come across that are trying to do this just the same thing as the Spiritual Truth Movement and Coalition, and that being to unite all Christians and Jews. However, the majority of them that I'm coming across can only go as far as giving you access to their website with the news articles, or you can sign up for weekly email subscriptions or daily email subscriptions, depending on which organization you're looking at, for updated news of what's going on. But to be considered an actual member of this organization, they're looking for a donation of some sort. Some of them is only a one-time fee. Other organizations can be looking at a monthly fee. And if you ask me, that is against God. God's word is supposed to be free. We were told to preach, not give me X amount of dollars, and I'll tell you some parts of the Bible. Give me a little bit more, I'll get nothing more. Now, that's not how we were told to do this. We were told to bring God's children back to God. The fact that we're Christian or Jewish should be payment enough right there to be considered members of such an organization. Granted, yes, every organization needs finances to exist, to keep running. There's other things you can do for that. Whether you sell products or you ask these people for donations. Then whoever can afford to donate a certain amount of money, then fine. And they will be the ones that will donate the money. And as often as they can, as much as they can afford to. Not everybody can afford it. And for those that can't, just the fact that they're a Christian or a Jew, they should still be considered a member of this organization. Just because they might not have the money to pay for membership fees should not mean that they're not Christian enough or Jewish enough to be in this organization. And therefore, I will say to anybody out there who's looking for an organization to join, can we join the Spiritual Truth Movement and Coalition? Because no, we do not require you to pay any kind of membership fees or anything else. If you're a Christian or Jewish, right off the bat, you are a member of the organization. So, being a long lost brother or sister, please send us your contact information and add yourself to our email list so we can stay in touch and bring you in as part of our network. So we do sell products. What we've got right now is King James Version Bibles that are being handed out to anybody who donates $10 or more. You will get a free authorized edition of the King James Version Bible coming to you in the mail. However, donations are not a requirement. God's word is supposed to be free. People in ministry are not supposed to be in ministry for the money. They're supposed to be in it because this is what they were meant to be here to do. It's supposed to be about God, not about money, not about mammon, about God. So, what I'm going to say is that I don't appreciate seeing other organizations out there that are requesting certain amounts of money so that they can say that they are coming together, uniting with our other brothers and sisters of Christianity and Judaism. However, like I said, I'm not going to name names of organizations. Since I don't feel that would be right either. I'm not trying to discredit anybody. I'm not trying to say that this is a certain way it needs to be done. I'm just voicing my personal opinion about the matter. You can like it or dislike it. That's up to you. That's why you have free will. No, I'm not going to release names of the organizations I'm speaking of. I'm not trying to, shut them down or anything else. The fact that they are trying to unite Christians and Jews is better than doing nothing. And the unity of Christians and Jews at today's time and point in history is a must for our survival. The Jews need to realize they need us Christians for survival, and us Christians need to realize that we need the Jewish population for our survival, or our enemy will continue eating us up whole, and we will be exterminated and erased out of the history books. I'm sorry for such a long introduction, but as you can see, I can't keep things short and clean. I normally go off into rants. And I like to cover things with the facts and get as much information out there as I possibly can. These videos are going to be aired. I haven't set an exact time frame yet exactly because I do the articles and the podcasts on the website. Whether it be article, podcast, or now video, there will be at least one of the three up weekly. Sometimes with the articles and the podcast I started a little bit after the articles. I have done, an article on the podcast on the same topic where there'd be a little bit more information in the podcast than in the article, but they were published on the same time, so now you're looking at two publications going out on the same week. That's not necessarily how this is going to go, so I could have, a video every week, in one particular month, where in a particular month I can only have one video for that particular month. I don't know. If I can get it done, I'd like to see where I can have an article, a podcast, and a video up every week. More often than that, maybe every day at some point. Right now, I just don't have the means to do that. And so please keep an eye on my YouTube channel and on spiritualmessiahministries.com, .org. spiritualmessiahministries.org is the website I'm trying to refer you guys to. And there you will see all information about the ministry and about the movement and about the School of Divinity. You will also see there all of our articles and the podcast. And in the podcast section of the website, I will make a page for all of my videos. So you don't necessarily have to go to my YouTube channel to see the videos. Just remember the website address, spiritualmessiahministries.org. And you won't miss anything. Whether it be an article that week, a podcast that week, a video that week, 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3 that week. You won't miss anything. So all you YouTubers, now that in this rather lengthy 2-part introduction of myself to the YouTube universe, again, I'm going to tell you that my name is Reverend Dr. Red Conrad, the founder of Spiritual Messiah Ministries, Spiritual Messiah Ministries School of Divinity, and that Spiritual Messiah Ministries is the founding entity of the Spiritual Truth Movement and Coalition. And I'm going to again tell you that I'm here to preach the truth, to correct all the fallacies, and to bring the lost back to God. And the movement is to bring America and Europe back to God and unity to all Christians and Jews, and to unite each other, to unite the family of God under one roof. No more denominational lines, no more divisive lines. There's only one truth. There's no reason for division. Division is what got us into the terrifying times we are seeing today. And again, spiritualmessiahministries.org. Every week something will be posted there. And I look forward to reading your comments. And I look forward to getting the word out. I look forward to having dialogue with you. I will do a podcast or a video dialogue with anybody who wishes. All you gotta do is contact me and we will set it up. And again, the contact information is all there at spiritualmessiahministries.org, and we will set it up. If you're local to us, you can appear on a video with me and doing a live interview with myself in person, or can we set it up where we can do it as a podcast if you don't live local to the ministry. That being said, now that I call everybody on YouTube, at least those that have now watched this two-part introduction, now that you have community background of who I am, what I'm here to do, what my ministry is here to do, and what the movement is here to do and accomplish, I'm sure I have now just weeded out those who are going to continue watching me and those who won't. But I think everybody will continue to watch me though, because this unnecessary bias everybody has to different people of different religions or denominations of that particular religion is a little ridiculous. And people really need to have a little bit more of an open mind. I wouldn't have the understanding I have now if I didn't study the amount of faith that I had and put as much time as I had into the process. And, I'm learning more every day. I'm meeting more and more ministers out there every day, and it is really enlightening to speak to some of these people who have been in ministry for quite a while. And different hardships that they've had, and the rather interesting theological conversations we have. Again, I wouldn't know everything that I know, and I wouldn't have the understanding that I have if it wasn't for the fact that I had an interest in all of this, and I took up the dialogue with people outside that I did, and I took up the studies that I had, and I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and asked Him for guidance and with all of this. That being said, I am Reverend Dr. Red of Spiritual Messiah Ministries and the Spiritual Truth Movement and Coalition. Signing on until next time. God bless everybody.